Hi, welcome back to my channel. This episode is titled The Sovereign Power of God. As I continue in the book of Exodus, I want to focus on God's sovereignty. Who but the Lord can command the frogs to congregate at his appointed place and time? Even though the sorcerers and magicians duplicated this, from there on out, God stayed their hands and did not allow them to deceive the people any longer. They could no longer deny that it was of God. And the Lord said unto Moses, Say unto Aaron, Stretch out thy rod and smite the dust of the land, that it may become lice throughout all the land of Egypt. And they did so. For Aaron stretched out his hand with his rod and smote the dust of the earth, and it became lice in man and in beast. All the dust of the land became lice throughout all the land of Egypt. And the magicians did so with their enchantments to bring forth lice, but they could not. So there was lice upon man and upon beast. Then the magicians said unto Pharaoh, This is the finger of God. And Pharaoh's heart was hardened, and he hearkened not unto them, as the Lord had said. Pharaoh is as the leaders of this country and across the world, seen and unseen. The people's sustenance and even their very lives were treated with disdain. They meant nothing to him beyond possibly those that were closest to him, and their immediate gratification for serving the enemy. As it has been confirmed out of the mouth of the prophet Celestial, that there is an unseen power that rules the earth, established through man's sin and disobedience, confirmed here. Number 1, in which you once walked, you were following the ways of this world, influenced by this present age, in accordance with the prince of the power of the air, Satan, the spirit who is now at work in the disobedient, the unbelieving who fight against the purposes of God. Number 2, the choice is yours. But even if our gospel is in some sense hidden behind a veil, it is hidden only to those who are perishing. Among them, the God of this world, Satan, has blinded the minds of the unbelieving to prevent them from seeing the illuminating light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. And number 3, then he led Jesus up to a high mountain and displayed before him all the kingdoms of the inhabited earth and their magnificence in the twinkling of an eye. And the devil said to him, I will give you all this realm and its glory, its power, its renown, because it has been handed over to me, and I give it to whomever I wish. The Lord in his mercy sent Moses to Pharaoh, rising up betimes. And the Lord said unto Moses, Rise up early in the morning, and stand before Pharaoh. Lo, he cometh forth to the water. and say unto him, Thus saith the Lord, let my people go that they may serve me. God will confirm his word as he has and will do more severely, making this country an example. First, the warning. Howbeit I sent unto you all my servants the prophets, rising early and sending them, saying, Oh, do not this abominable thing that I hate. But they hearken not, nor incline their ear to turn from their wickedness, to burn no incense unto other gods. Wherefore my fury and mine anger was poured forth and was kindled in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. And they are wasted and desolate as at this day. Therefore now this saith the Lord, the God of hosts, the God of Israel. Wherefore commit you this great evil against your souls, to cut off from you man and woman, child and suckling out of Judah, to leave you none to remain, in that you provoke me unto wrath with the works of your hands, burning incense unto other gods in the land of Egypt, whither you be gone to dwell, that you might be a curse and reproach among all the nations of the earth. Then the judgment. This will be lengthy and should be meditated upon, because it is America that is being judged. And for those who may think that this is a deviation from me, this was revealed to me over 25 years ago. He who has ears to hear, let him hear. After these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, possessing great authority, and the earth was illuminated with his splendor and radiance. And he shouted with a mighty voice, saying, Fallen, fallen, certainly to be destroyed, is Babylon the Great. She has become a dwelling place for demons, a dungeon haunted by every unclean spirit, and a prison for every unclean and loathsome bird. For all the nations have drunk from the wine of the passion of her sexual immorality. And the kings and political leaders of the earth have committed immorality with her. And the merchants of the earth have become rich by the wealth and economic power of her sensuous luxury. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, so that you will not be partner in her sins and receive of her plagues. For her sins, crimes, transgressions have piled up as high as heaven, and God had remembered her wickedness and crimes for judgment. Let me pause for a moment to remind you that the blood of all those slain across the earth has been attributed to her. And never again will the light of a lamp shine in you, and never again will the voice of the bridegroom and bride be heard in you. For your merchants were the great and prominent men of the earth, because all the nations were deceived and misled by your sorcery, your magic spells and poisonous charm. And in Babylon was found the blood of prophets and of the saints, God's people. and of all those who have been slaughtered on the earth. That in itself is cataclysmic. Yet I digress. The people of America boast in themselves every day, worshiping a flag that is symbolic of all their heinous sins. Then dare to be offended if you choose not to serve their countless idols. Woe unto those who would even pay homage to their national anthem. Repay to her even as she has repaid others, and pay back to her double her torment in accordance with what she has done. In the cup of sin and suffering which she mixed, mix a double portion of perfect justice for her. Ruminate on the vastness of this judgment. To the degree that she glorified herself and reveled and gloated in her sensuality, living deliciously and luxuriously, to that same degree impose on her torment and anguish and mourning and grief. Now pay attention. For in her heart she boasts, I sit as a queen on a throne, and I am not a widow, and will never see mourning or experience grief. This judgment is permanent. There is nowhere to go but into the final judgment of the lake that burns with fire and brimstone, where the worm dieth not. For this reason, in a single day, her plagues, afflictions, calamities will come, pestilence and mourning and famine, and she will be burnt with fire and completely consumed. For strong and powerful is the Lord God who judges her. And again, then a single powerful angel picked up a boulder like a great millstone and flung it into the sea, saying, with such violence will Babylon, the great city, be hurled down by the sudden spectacular judgment of God, and will never again be found. The KJV version states, and shall be found no more at all. After judgment comes upon her, the famine, pestilence, and the sword, it is written that within 1 literal hour she will be burned and descend into the sea. Do you actually think that it is by chance that this country is surrounded by water? For in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company of ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And for all this, no one will be able to say that they weren't warned, as is evidenced throughout the word of the Lord of his grace and mercy, always coming from a place of love and in truth. And again, I humbly offer you some additional resources as the Lord is bringing them to me, as this prophet has described, given to her from God, so that you may prepare for what is to come. Click the link below. The end times are upon us, and because of my love for the Lord and my family and for you, and the great sorrow that I feel as I see those around me walking in oblivious darkness, I feel compelled to provide Celestial's teachings to you. The links are referenced but inactive on the vlogs, but are available on the blog/podcast pages of my site at BenevolentWoman.com. Please visit Celestial's site, the Master's Voice Prophecy blog. Thank you again.